In today's video, I am going to show you how to make this box with this lovely rose on the top. Okay, so we're using Creative Expressions Foundations card in rich red, and also in I think it's called ivory. It's the same make, but so we're using that, and then the dies that we're using for the decoration, we're using this one. This is called this is by Precious Marieke. It's from the Cuddling on the Farm range, and this is called chicken wire. I think it looks a lot prettier than chicken wire, but that's that's the one that we've used for here. I've used Elizabeth Crafts, the English rose for the top, and I've also done a little bit of quilling with the flowers, which I will show you when we get there. So the first thing we need to do is the box. Now I've made the box so that the lid is not the same depth as the base, and most scoring boards, sorry my brain's gone, most scoring boards these days will have I'm going to get, this is the one that I tend to use, which is the Crafter's Companion. Bear with me, I'm just going to reach across. This is the Hunky Dory Adorable Scribble, and it has the same. So on this one, you can see here it says box lid, and then here it says box base, and then the same with the Crafter's Companion one, box lid and box base. And all it means is that if you score your piece for your box lid on this side and your piece for your box base on this side, they will fit really well, because the way that the boards are set up is that there is a slightly, even though your let's say your depth is 1 inch or whatever, even if you it makes it just slightly bigger, makes the lid just slightly bigger. It's, you know, they know what they're doing, they've sorted it all out so that we don't have to. All we have to know is that we score our box lid on the left and our box base on the right. So I have started with 2 pieces of card, bigger one for the base and a smaller one for the lid, purely because I don't want the lid the full depth. So our base card, base card, we're not making a card, sorry. The box base, get my lips around that one today. The box base is an 8 1/4 square. I'm just checking my measurements so I get it right, and I'm going to score it at 1 5/8 on the box base side. So I want to look across here, and I'm looking now at the measurements at the bottom, not at the measurements at the top, because they are from my box lid. I'm looking at the measurements on the bottom. So I'm scoring at 1 5/8 for my base. Okay, and I'm going to do that on all 4 edges. Ooh, I slipped out of the line there. It's not going to make too much of an issue, but if I was really worried about it, you could make that into a feature and do it on all of them, so you've got that little extra score line. It's trying to show, making sure it's showing on the camera without my hand above it. 1 5/8. Oops. 1 5/8 there, and 1 5/8 on there. So that's our box base. So that was 8 1/4 inches square, scored at 1 5/8 on each side on the box base. This is the box lid. This is 6 3/4 squared, and we are scoring at 7/8 of an inch, and we're doing it on the box lid. So this time we're using the measurements at the top. So we're going 7/8. If you use 2 pieces the same size, then you won't have to worry about the difference. Basically what you need to make sure is that this bit here and this bit here and this bit here are the same. Yeah, you can just see the slight difference in the scoring. It's only a tiny, tiny amount, and that's what makes the lid fit on the box. Okay, right, so we've scored them. Next job is to burnish all of those creases with the bone folder. Okay. On both the lid and on like I say, if you're not liking that, you can always make it a feature, or you can turn your card over and go back over it. Okay, so I am now going to bear with me, I just reach for my peg. And the way I always do this is I cut just inside of the score line and then a little bit there. Now, the way to make the strongest box is to literally do the same all the way around, which is great. But personally, I don't do that because I like the box to look, if you see what I mean. So you'll get this bit here. I like to see that on both edges there, or like that on both edges. So while doing it as you go around makes it stronger, I personally, for the way that it looks, prefer to do it this way. Okay. And then turn it right the way around and do the same on the other side. Oh, no, I've done that wrong. I need to get inside the line. Sometimes brain not quite functioning. Just cut that little bit off there. And the same on here. And I'm then going to stick this together so this can dry, and I use peg to hold it down. Ooh. You can stick these with tape. Personally, I prefer to stick them with glue. It has, it's not gonna dry out and peel off sort of in the long term. So I just use a couple of pegs on there, and this can be drying. The important thing to line up are these bits rather than these bits. Make sure that your lid is going to fit. And then swing it round and do the same here. Now I'm going to cut my lid, but I never stick my lid until I've got the decoration on the top. Which always tends to be the last thing I do, is to actually stick the bits on the lid. Okay, so we just put that to the side. I'm going to put the pin back in this glue before I get glue everywhere. Okay, so we're going to literally just do the same kind of thing. Up and go up. Up. Oh, on the side of the line. And in. And turn it. And do the same. Yeah. And here. Okay, so that is now ready for us to stick when we're ready to assemble it. But I want it flat for the time being so that I can push down on it when I'm sticking the bits on the top. Okay, so let's put that to one side as well. So for the real sort of decoration, we're going to use this die. I use both of them from the Precious Marieke. I don't know, I told you what it's called. Oh yes, I did. It's chicken wire frame, isn't it? Doesn't do the actual die justice. Let's see, I've got a little bit stuck in Okie dokie, I've got a few bits stuck in, but bear with me. I am going to make sure it's clean, because otherwise you don't get as good a cut in those areas, because the pressure won't be as good because you've got something else already in there. Excuse me, I've got a little itchy nose, and I don't think actually it's my nose. I think it's my hair that keeps just whooping across in front of my nose. Right, okay, so I need a piece of green card, and I've very helpfully written on there that this is the frame, which is good. So I'm just going to put that on there. I've also want to cut this one out in the ivory card as well. So we're going to do those both at the same time. Grab my board. Now I have found with this die that putting it in this way, literally that way, works the best. Sometimes, depending on the card, I've still needed to run it through a couple of times. We'll see how it goes on this machine, because obviously every machine is different. Oh, let's just make sure that one's going to go. I'm just going to stop and push that one up a little bit further, otherwise there's going to be not enough pressure at the back for that one. So into the machine. We'll see how it goes. It really does. These kind of frame dies that they do from Amy Design and Ginny's Art, and that, they are very intricate, and they do sometimes need several passes. So we're just going to turn it over. Right, so you can see that it's cut fine here and here, but these bits haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it there. So now if I just show you, the bits that didn't cut are the bits on that diagonal piece there. So we don't need to put this one through again. That one's cut out fine. So we're just going to pop this one back through our machine. Okay, let's take this one out while we're waiting. This gives a lovely little decorative edge on that one. Okay. So yeah, so now that has cut fine. All right. Now you do get this little bit in the middle that pops out, which is very nice. We haven't used this on this particular project, but they are worth keeping hold of because they're lovely little decorative mats. So I'm just going to, before I take it completely out of the die, I'm just going to check. There's a few little bits that I was looking at thinking, I'm not sure. Yeah, they are all going to come up. So I'm happy with that. So you can see how many bits. And I found it's best to try and keep the die sort of fairly low to your board while you're doing this, because they do have a tendency to ping off everywhere. And then you're chasing all these little bits. Okay. Yeah, already. They're quite nice little little shapes. Sort of thing to keep if you do shaker cards. Just put them in a pot, and then you've got them, because there's a lot of them. These dies generate quite a lot of these little pieces. Right, there's my pokey tool. Let's get this out. Oh, excuse me. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure that I have put these bits out. So we the way I've assembled this, you need 2 of these, and I have already cut the second one, so we don't need to cut it again. And also I've cut it out of the red because I wanted this bit in the red to give me a contrast. Okay, so let's put that away. That's the other die. These. And right, so we've got this and we've got this. And like I said, I have already cut it out of the red. Again, this is keep this for another project. But we want this bit. Excuse me. We want that bit and we want those. That's what we're going to layer up for our middle. So we're going to do that now and let that dry, and then we can assemble the box because the last thing goes on with a bit of glue gel, which is a lot easier to put on. So I've just got a little bit of decorative paper. Get that, you don't really see this. It's just literally to give it a lift between the red of that and the next bit of red, which I realise I just haven't done yet. So we're going to stick this, but then I've got a bit to show you before I can move on. Right, let's put that on and then move that to the side. What I've realised is that, can you see I've got like a red mat that this one sits on. So the way I did that was I took the die, the big die, and I drew around it on a piece of the red card, and I've already started fussy cutting that out, so I'm just going to finish fussy cutting that out. And that gives you a nice mat to sit that decorative die on, which sort of goes in and out in the right places for it. Okay. Okay. And right, so that's ready for me to now stick my next layer there. Stick that on. Okay. On there. And you see, just separates that red mat from the red of the box. Okay. Now, before I stick the one down that way, I want one that way. But the problem is, you can see it's too big for the box. So what I did was I literally just snipped in like that. So I've got the 4 points that I wanted, and I am, just for speed, I am just going to, oh, where's my penny one? Let's put that there for a minute. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the outside bits. I'm not going to worry too much about all the detail. You can spray glue if you would prefer, but I'm just going to do that. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm just literally lining that point up with that central dip in the mat. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same here at the bottom. So there's the central dip, and I'm putting my point in. Okay, and then the same with the 2 at the sides. Really could do with more glue, but just for the sake of the time, I am just doing the outside bits. That one goes there. You can see why they actually line up really nicely in there as well. You can see why I did not want to assemble the lid. You see the amount of pressure that I'm putting on. You wouldn't be able to do this if you'd already stuck your lid, size of your lids together. So there is method in my madness. Whoop. Oh, getting glue everywhere. Good job, there's more stuff going on. That one goes in there. You can see they do fit pretty nicely on top here and here as well. And then this one is going to go over the top like this and fits on the mat. And again, I am literally just going to go around the edge and sorry, I'm just concentrating there, and on the inside. But a spray glue would be really good for a die like this, like the Crafter's Companion. Stick and stay. But just for the sake of what we're doing, I'll put this on today. And around okay, so this then matches up to the red mat that we cut and stuck down. That's going to go on there. And then this is the red bit that came out the middle, so that's going to cover up the sort of cutty bit under there. And I'm going to get my bigger glue for this one. Oop. Squirting. We're going to put that there, and again you can line up the points there. And then this is the cream one that we cut out with the smaller of the dies from the set. So we've now got our base. So now, because we've put in the rose and the other little bits on, it's not going to need the pressure. I am now going to stick these sides of the box lid, and I'm going to bring back my base because this is already dry, and I'm just going to use the same pegs. Okay. So I'm getting very gluey fingers. Very gluey fingers today. Ooh. One in there. One in there. And that one in there. Need another one there. I do tend to put two. Make sure all parts of the tab are actually stuck. So there's our lid, and that can go aside to dry while we sort our flower out. Okay, right. Now the Elizabeth Crafts Designs English Rose, you get this way several dies in there. We're not going to use them all. In fact, I've already cut the stuff out, so I'm not going to cut anything, but I will show you the dies and show you what you need. So what you need, there are 2 of these 3 petal dies, and you're going to need 2 of each of those. And then the leaves I have not used because I've done the little quilling ones. And then there are essentially you've got 4 petals, and you need a couple of each of those. And then this bigger bit that looks like a petal is actually the bit that you make the center from. So you only need 1 of those. Okay, and we're not going to use the stalk, the stem either. So if I just bring in the bits that we're going to work with, I just want to show you how to use each to form each part of the flower. Okay, all right, so I've got the 2 bits there. I've got a couple of petals to show you, and then I've got the central bit to show you as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my my little mat, and I need a ball tool. I'm going to go for a smallish one, so please excuse all the glue and things over my little flower mat. And I'm literally going to just pull these up, and then the same with this one. Just to start to sort of break up the fibres in the card. This is quite thick card. And then with these, I'm literally just bending the tops over. It is quite a heavy card to be doing this with, but I really like the colour. So I'm going to bend those up. Okay, and then I'm going to again draw the thing up through the petals. Nope, pick it up with me. But for these, you are going to pinch in at the bottom. Once you've pinched them in at the bottom, then you're going to just sort of bring the top bits out. Okay, so pinch them in at the bottom and then bring them out. Okay, so I've got already a load of those done, ready for us to assemble our flower in a moment. But we need to do the central bit, so I'm just going to give this a little bit of a run over just to make it a little bit more flexible. Now you see this bit here is slightly lower. You need to leave that bit at the top. We're going to roll from the bottom, and if you've got a quilling tool, which I have somewhere, I need it in a minute, it helps. You just roll it in, and then I'm going to put some glue here. My glue's a bit cruddy there, but not all the way up. I'm just going to hold that until it's caught. I'm going to keep hold of it and just show you what I would do next. And then this bit gets folded back. That glue will dry clear, so you won't see that. So that little bit gets folded back like that, and that's our centre for our flower. All right, so now we're going to assemble, excuse me, the pin is for that, but we're going to use glue gel. I've got the end of a couple of things of glue gel here to actually assemble the flower. I'm going to do it on a piece of paper so that we don't get glue all over the mat. So literally going to, oh, in fact, let's just check. I've got, there's two, this die is slightly bigger than that one, so we're going to start with this one at the base. Okay, it's just two of those, and then these ones go straight over the top like so, and then a fair bit of glue there, because what we're going to then do is stand the centre up in it, and then we just put glue around. I say this is how I do it. It may not be the way it was intended, but this is the way that I have found is the easiest. So glue around, and then literally put in the petals in to that glue, keeping that stood up. And the more petals you have, the fuller your rose will be. Oops, these are all on top of each other. So I've got a whole nice sort of row around there. But I'm going to put, I'm out of glue on that one. Put a bit more glue. Ooh, let's hope this one's going to work. Is it going to? Yeah, sort of. So I'm going to put the glue in there. And some more coming sort of more up. You can see that's another centre that I've made there. Coming up around that central part of your rose. Okay. So it's worth taking the time to cut and to sort of form all those bits. And another thing that I like about the glue gel is that you've got a little bit of time to just fiddle around with it until it's how you want. So I'm going to use glue gel to stick this on. This is dry by now. It doesn't take long for that glue to dry. It just needs a little bit of time to grab. So I'm going to put some glue gel on here, and then that will sit on there. I'll put that to one side, and then I'll just show you how I made the little leaves. all the really old things that when I first started crafting that were around, like quilling, tea bag folding, iris folding, all things I used to really like to do, all seem to be coming back. So I thought I would do a little bit of very, very simple, and I mean very, very simple quilling. This circle gauge I got many, many years ago free in a magazine, but I know on the Hixxycrafts website there are a couple. I think one is from Woodware, one might be Do Crafts, but there, if you want to do quilling, it's worth having a circle gauge, because if I show you, I'm just gonna, these are 1/8 of an inch strips. I think I might even be smaller. No, they're 1/8 of an inch strips of the same paper that I used on the top, and literally using the quilling tool, and I've made it out into a circle. Oh, okay, that wasn't meant to happen. That's okay. Probably pull that back. Okay, so as you can see, as soon as you let go, they spring, and what we want to do is we want them to be an equal size. So I've used number 3 on my gauge. Yeah. So I know that it's gone to that particular size. And I've taken it out and I've used a tiny bit of glue. I'm going to use this because it's open. A little bit of glue on the end there. And then, so that's the bit I've glued and that's the bit I'm pressing anyway. I press the end like that to create my sort of leaf shape. You can press them both ends if both ends are going to be on display, but mine aren't. So I'll just do one more because that one pinged off out of my, I think there might be a bit of glue in my quilling tool. Okay, so I'm just gonna, when I finish this one, I'll show you what a quilling tool looks like in case you've not seen one before. Okay, so I'm just going to take it off there. I'm going to put it into my circle gauge, into number 3, allow it to sort of bring it. I tend not to let go of it straight away because it does ping out, but now it's going to be the same size as that one was. Carefully take it out, find the end, a bit of glue on the end, and then the way I've done it is to press it then where that bit of glue is. Okay, now quilling tool, if you're not sure if the camera can see this, it's just got like this end, this little 2 prongs here, and your paper sits in this little bit here, and that allows you to twist the bits of paper. So you don't want to be doing it with very heavy card because it just won't go. So I've got some of those already made somewhere. There we go. And they're all pretty much the same size because I used my little guide. So I'm just going to the thing with these, and you can glue there. These things just, I'm trying to decide. We're going to go this side. The way you stick quilling things is literally you put glue on. A lot of people put glue on a bit of paper, dip them in, and then add them on. It's quite amazing how they stick like that, but they do. So that one is going to go in there. You see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to put one more in between those. Just like that. And then we'll do the other side. I can get some in there. 1, 2, and then one's going to go in between that. Oh, ping. There we go. So, there we have our rose box with our precious Marieke chicken wire frame die and our Elizabeth's Crafts English rose die with a little bit of quilling. Oh, lost one under there. Hey, thank you.